it's a beautiful day out here in Hawaii Kai, and what we have directly behind me is what most locals consider Portlock. I've now been in the real estate business for over 20 years, and when I first got into the business, I myself, and I think a lot of people that I grew up with, consider that entire area out there Portlock. Little and behold, I was practicing real estate for nearly a year and had a client that I was showing some homes, and he had his appraiser's license, and he's like, there's actually 3 neighborhoods there. And this is back in 2001-ish. And what we're gonna cover today are the 3 main neighborhoods out here, which are gonna be Portlock, which is everything along the ocean here directly behind me. And then Triangle, which is above it to the left. And then Koko Kai is gonna be the 3rd MLS neighborhood that I'm gonna walk you through all 3 and kind of talk about the ins and outs of them and why it's a great spot to live here in Hawaii Kai. So before we get on the road, I want to give you a little perspective. So this jetty here, this is a little bit of history. This jetty here did not always used to be there. It went in about within the last maybe 5 years or so. So what's happened was all the sand would collect during storms and clog the channel here for boats to get out. So now that's preventing sand from coming into the channel. They don't have to dredge the private marina as much, and it's creating a much larger beach there. That was the former Rosa estate, and there used to be a pier out in front of there. I've got a picture somewhere of myself there when I was a kid. However, starting here at the Rosa property, all along the ocean there, that's all gonna be considered Portlock up until what's considered the old Kaiser estate, which is that big green grass lawn and that mid-century modern house along the ocean, and then to the right where those pillars are, that's the old boathouse of the Kaiser estate. So I just want to give you some perspective. That's gonna be Portlock, which we're gonna cover, as well as Triangle, which is up above to the left, and then Koko Kai, which is above to the right. Portlock saw most of the homes being developed there in the early 1940s, whereas Koko Kai and Triangle, they didn't start developing and building houses until the 60s. I did an article and a YouTube video on this a few months back, and I'll put that in the comment section below, so if you want to take a look at that. But it talks about the history of this area, and when Henry Kaiser, hence the Kaiser estate, teamed up with Bishop Estate at the time, which is now Kamehameha Schools, owned all of this land out here in Hawaii Kai, pretty much all of Hawaii Kai for that matter. But over the years, they've made the fee or land interest available, so pretty much everything you see out here right now is gonna be considered fee simple. But a little bit of history, we're gonna drive by it later, but the Kaiser estate there, still to this day, when it traded last in 1990, is the highest residential real estate sale here in Hawaii. And at that time, when Gensiro Kawamoto purchased the Kaiser estate, it was still leasehold at that time. It just shows you some of the history here in Hawaii Kai and the value of properties here. Some of the bigger trades on the island have actually taken place right out here at Portlock. So stay tuned, and we're gonna jump in the car and head down Portlock Road. Okay, the first neighborhood we're gonna hit today is Portlock of the 3. And Portlock is gonna be the oldest neighborhood in Hawaii Kai. Homes here were built in the early 40s, and which is basically several decades before homes started to get built up in Koko Kai and Triangle. And as you'll see, there's a lot of overhead utilities. And I'll point out as we go along, all throughout Portlock, you've got public beach accesses, or coastal accesses, I should say. And back to, yeah, it is a narrow road. It's probably the narrowest road here in Hawaii Kai. And you have these overhead power lines, just because, like we talk about in a lot of my videos and when I'm showing property to clients, is I always say a lot of the best properties were taken first. Another beach access down there. And so here in Portlock, everything is zone R10, so you're gonna have at least 10,000 square feet minimum on the lots. There's been a lot of gentrification over the years. You have newer like McMansions like this, as well as kind of traditional older Hawaiian style homes. And there's another beach access for you there. just wanted to give you a feel walking down one of these beach access points here in Portlock. And as we come through here, they're all a little bit varied in the sense that some are a little bit seawalls, some of them have some sand. Today is a summer day, and there's actually kind of like a high king tide, which is why you see the water level high today, but that's not typically the case. But like I said, it is a little bit of a narrow street compared to Koko Triangle. Hanaho, as we say. There we go again, another ocean access. So that's one of the perks about living along Portlock Road. As far as Portlock goes in our MLS in real estate, it's literally a one street neighborhood. So all the homes you're gonna have on the left or Malka side of the street are gonna have even numbers, and then everything along the ocean are gonna have odd numbers. Another beach access there that's kind of blocked by some foliage. So there's no parking on this side of the street on Portlock Road. But, you know, over time, as you can see, everyone kind of walls up their properties for privacy. On the old days, everything was just kind of opened up. Similar things happen in Kahala. But a couple things in Portlock is number one, you've got R10, so you have at least 10,000 square feet minimum on the lots. But then some of these are like double or triple or quadruple lots, which stretch all the way through the ocean. You have awesome views of Coco Head out the back, which is basically the backside of Hama Bay. And then you've got, you know, once again, more traditional homes here. And all the addresses in Portlock. Here's one that's under construction off to the left. That was obviously not an original 40s home. But homes in Portlock were, you know, the street addresses basically run between 200 block, where you come off Kalaniana Highway where we started, and then they're gonna round out at, you know, the 500 block near the top here. There's a really cool, actually, Alfred Price mid-century home off to the left that has a tennis court right there. I've blogged about it over the years. And as you come up here, we start to get into what was considered part of the old Kaiser estate. So this was several acres here on the ocean in Hawaii Kai, and still to this day, the highest trade for any residential real estate transaction on Oahu. It's been chopped up a little bit since, but it's something that's very special. It was owned and developed by Henry Kaiser, who basically developed all of Hawaii Kai. He was an industrialist. Also same Kaiser, like Kaiser Healthcare. And then you got some cool mid-century homes on this side of the street. And then we're gonna come to what was the old boathouse for the Kaiser estate coming up here at the very end. So this gives you a perspective how long we've been driving and how vast the Kaiser estate is, or was. But you know, this is the old boathouse. It's under construction. We're gonna hit a beach park a little bit later around the corner to give you a perspective of the little boat harbor that he had here. And this is a little walking path to kind of make you through to the next cul-de-sac there off Hanapepe. One thing I'd like to point out here, it's no longer the case, but this home up here on the right used to have a really cool sign on the front that said, "In Dog We Trust." For those of you that are fans of Dog the Bounty Hunter, that's where he used to live. It's really sad. His wife Beth passed away a few years ago, and we used to bump into them when I was a firefighter and we were doing our shopping at the grocery stores here in Hawaii Kai. But in any event, yeah, here we are heading back down Portlock Road, and then we're gonna head on up after this to hit Triangle and Koko Kai. Okay, here we are at the corner of Portlock and Lunalilo Home Road, which will run you back into the main part of Hawaii Kai. But this is basically where Portlock ends, directly behind me. And then as you head up Lunalilo Home Road, and then Poipu Drive runs parallel to Portlock down here behind these houses, and everything up back in this direction is going to be considered Triangle. So that's where we're going to come to next, is kind of give you a tour of the Triangle neighborhood here adjacent to Portlock. Okay, as we pulled up here at Koko Neighborhood Park, you'll see this tsunami evacuation area sign behind me. It's saying that you're entering a tsunami evacuation area. And then if you saw the flip side of it, it says that you're leaving a tsunami evacuation area. Excuse me, it's across the street over there. But these have been popping up all over Honolulu, and I don't know if it's to freak people out or what, but you know, I'm now 50 years old and we have yet to have a tsunami that's kind of taken out this area. There was one around the corner here near Sandy Beach at Allen Davis. There was a tsunami back in the mid 20th century. And yeah, but we haven't had something since then, but you could, I guess, never be too prepared. So here we are at Koko Neighborhood Park behind me. I'm gonna flip the camera around here to give you a little bit better perspective. Although it is a summer day, we've had some trade showers this morning and the clouds have come out, but this will give you a great perspective of Koko Neighborhood Park here. You've got a baseball diamond here, and then back over that direction is gonna be Koko Head Elementary, which is one of 3 elementary schools in Hawaii Kai. And out the back there, that's actually gonna be Mariners Ridge, which is a great neighborhood with awesome ocean views. And then you've got kind of like a bathroom house here. And then out the back, if you can make that out, there's gonna be a play structure here at the park. Really cool mid-century modern architecture. What happened, a lot of public restrooms on Oahu have gotten design awards for their architecture, and this is just, you know, one of those examples here at Koko Head Park. And then you've got some basketball courts over here, and like I mentioned, out the back you've got the jungle gyms, and you've also got a few picnic benches under these big what looks almost like monkey pod trees. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, nice green space here. And this is Poipu Drive, which kind of runs you through Triangle, starting down below, and then you can hook a left there, and that'll take you to Portlock. And then another monument we've got here in Hawaii Kai is going to be Mount Terrace. That's the high-rise condo there out the back. Okay, we're now officially in the neighborhood of Triangle. We just walked past a relatively new house called the Ocean House, quote unquote. That's what's funny about this area, is people do name their homes. And this is at the corner of Hanapepe Loop and Kokee Place. And as we walk up, we're approaching Kokee Mini Beach Park. And if you notice, the grass is just a little bit brown because we are well into June and it's summertime. But check out these captivating views out the back of Mauna Bay here in Hawaii Kai. If you could bear with me, I'm just got my slippers on. So we're gonna walk down towards this beach access at Kokee Mini Park. And you'll see they've got a cable here on the ground because not everyone's got the best footing walking down here, and they just wanna, you know, ensure safety for people coming back up from the ocean. But as you come down this walking path, you're going to once again be captivated by the views. And Pillar Surf Break out there. And then if you look to the right, this is going to be part of the old Kaiser State boathouse. And we're going to pan to the left with my step, get a little view of Diamond Head there. And then back towards, there's a little strip of sand you'll see here at the old Kaiser State. Okay, here we are on the corner of Poipu Drive and Keikaha, where I actually lived right here up on this corner when I was a kid. I don't quite remember it, but yeah, this is a wonderful neighborhood. I just wanted to point out, like we talked about earlier, a lot of the streets here in Koko Kai, Triangle, and Portlock all have neighborhood names based upon areas of the island of Kauai. Forgive me as it is a little bit of a windy day today, but what I do want to do is point out this delineation in the road. We're here on Poipu Drive, and this is literally the delineation mark between Triangle, which is one MLS neighborhood directly behind me. And you can see Koko Crater there and the stairs, which is a great hike, by the way. And I'll flash up a view from that hike. It's incredible. But here we are at Triangle, which is basically the neighborhood behind me. And then you'll see there's a sign up on the wall over there delineating Koko Kai, which is right around 273 on one side of the street and 274 Hoipu Drive. But once you get this delineation mark, everything in this direction is going to be Koko Kai, which is one of the 3 neighborhoods out here that we're talking about today. Now here we are on the walking path down to China Walls. You can see some stand-up foil boarders are gonna do their downhill run from here. What's awesome about this location is the view of the back towards Diamond Head, which you're gonna get some incredible sunsets. We did have a south swell. It's a great mural that's done here that shows that the location we're at, which is actually China Walls. And this completely wraps around. Welcome to China Walls. So my years in the fire department here, I've come to countless calls, because what happens is, you know, people see the ocean here and they jump in the water because it's crystal clear and blue. And there's not much surf today, but what can happen is if there is surf, they get into a little bit of a panic mode when they're trying to come back up. That's really cool. They have some rescue boards here just in case someone gets into trouble and the fire department can't get here quick enough. Like I said, I've been to countless calls here when I was on duty. But what happens is, you know, people jump in the water here. This is pretty much a calm and mellow day. But if you can imagine a south swell, the waves cracking out here, and then people have trouble getting back up on the rocks. As you can see, you got these guys going out on their stand-up boards. They're gonna hit a downhill and run out there. So again, China Walls is one of the perks for living out in Portlock, Koko Kai, and Triangle here in Hawaii Kai. Now remember earlier when I said homeowners in Hawaii Kai love to name their homes? This one is called Hale Ava, and it's right around the corner from China Walls. Now this next one we're going to show you is the ocean access to Spinning Caves. This is going to be the most dangerous of all the beach accesses here in Koko Kai and Portlock. And I'm going to spin the camera around and we'll kind of give you a perspective as to why it can be a dangerous point to jump in the ocean. Okay, here we are at the access to Spinning Caves. There's a little walking path down to the ocean. This is another place will definitely swimmers and jumpers beware. It's a lot more severe than China Walls because the waves kind of whack up against the cliffs a bit more. It is a beautiful scenery here once you get down here. Got my slippers on, so I'm moving a little bit slower than normal. But this gives you a perspective of how killer the homes and real estate are out here. You know, this access is between a couple of we've got a mansion on one side and an empty lot on the other. But if you hit a Google Street View of this location, it's gonna have some really cool trophy properties. Yeah, once again got slippers on, so taking my time down the trail. Those that are locals, these are called bibiris. That's an inside joke. Okay. All right, this is starting to give you a perspective of the ocean out here off Koko Head. Still a little bit of a trek. Kind of bear with me. All right. Earlier we were at China Walls, and we saw some paddle boarders launching on their stand-up foil boards. There they are. They're hitting that downwind run to ride some open ocean swells. Just to give you a perspective of the It's a typical trade wind day out here. So when you're looking at the ocean, it's kind of blowing from left to right. And it is mid-June. And it's starting to get a little bit warmer, but this is kind of like our natural AC during the summertime. Fortunately, the trade winds are going to be most consistent during the summer. And then similar to China walls, now have some of these emergency rescue buoys here, which are very helpful because there have been countless drownings out here. I've been to some of them, and it's just really tragic because it could have been avoided if people knew what they're getting into. All right. So here we're making our way down to Spitting Caves. It's kind of a mellow day. But you saw that spray right there? That's why they call it Spitting Caves. So there's going to be a jump off here. And then in general, people try to climb back up on the rocks down there. I do not recommend this if you're not a good swimmer. This could be highly dangerous. Like I said, there's been lots of people that have died out here. There's actually an even higher jump that's around the corner from here. I'm not even going to show that to you because I don't want to set anyone up for anything. But here we are at Spitting Caves. It's a killer view down towards Diamond Head there to the west. And then if you can barely make it out, you look really close, you're right around the corner there. That's actually Molokai to the east. So once again, we're at Spitting Caves, just to give you another perspective of one of the perks living here in Hawaii Kai. Public access here to the rocks, and then once again you've got these incredible estates that are up above. Okay, now we're back in the car, and we're gonna give you a little driving tour heading out of Lumahai here in Koko Kai. And as you can see, the trade winds are blowing pretty good today. It is a summer day, as I'd mentioned, and what's nice about Koko Kai and Triangle for that matter compared to Portlock is you have these nice open wide streets, and you have buried underground utilities. That's one of the perks of living in Hawaii Kai is you do have these nicer, wider roads with sidewalks and underground utilities. And like we talked about earlier, a lot of the homes here in Koko Kai and Triangle were first developed in the 60s and into the 70s. So you have some that are relatively similar construction to what they were back then. That is less common because there is a lot of gentrification in the neighborhood where people have upgraded their homes over the years. And now as we head back down to the intersection of Lumahai and Poipu, it'll give you a perspective of that ocean view you get from a lot of these homes here. What's great about both of these neighborhoods, if you have deeded view planes, so the homes can only go up so high, so that protects the views of your neighbors, and it kind of works in everyone's best benefit. That's something that was done by Kamehameha Schools and Kaiser back in the day when they were developing these lots. So once again, we're now on Poipu, and we're going to be coming up to that transition of Koko Kai going back into Triangle. And once again, you've got that gorgeous backdrop of Koko Crater out the back, which is that incredible hike. I know I showed you a nice sunset view from the top of the crater earlier, but I'll throw up a little clip here just to kind of give you a perspective on a sunnier day what the view from Koko Crater is like, looking over Hawaii Kai and out towards Diamond Head. And now as we round this up, we're going to be coming back down Poipu and coming full circle to get to Koko Head District Park once we cross the Willy Willy here. Once again, a lot of these streets have names that might sound familiar if you're familiar with the island of Kauai. Willy Willy, Poipu, these are all locations on the island of Kauai. And as we come up to the park here. We're gonna take a little break, and then we're gonna, run across the highway to give you another awesome thing about living in Portlock, Triangle, and Koko Kai is having Koko Marina Shopping Center directly across the street. What's really cool about living in Portlock or Triangle or Koko Kai is directly across Kalani Highway, you've got Koko Marina Shopping Center, which is where we're at now. It's a marina front complex here on the water. I had to take a little break there because someone's bass in their car system was a little bit too loud. But I'm gonna flip this around and give you a perspective of Koko Marina. Here at Koko Marina, and directly across the marina here is Hawaii Kai Town Center, where you've got a Costco. But that's what's really cool about this side of the marina is you can actually have a boat dock out your back door, and then bring your boat on over to hit up the restaurants or go to Costco or what have you. But let's give you a walking tour here of Koko Marina, which is one of the perks of living, which is directly across the street from Portlock, Triangle, and Koko Kai neighborhoods up above. Okay, here's some of the vendors we've got. There's a Fat Boys, which is a plate lunch place. Then you have a Subway, and that's not named after Jared the Fat Boy, just kidding. Starbucks coffee. They've been here now for over a dozen years. Locomotion has been a staple of Koko Marina Shopping Center forever. There is a Bank of Hawaii, as well as the First Hawaiian, which we'll get to in a little bit. Locomoco, another plate lunch place. And then I want to cover this. Walgreens and Petco used to be one big space. There used to be a Foodland here in Koko Marina that we used to shop at when I was in the fire department. However, when Foodland went away, they split it into two different retail establishments. And last but not least, you have a Leonard's Bakery truck here. One of the perks about Koko Marina Shopping Center was as in past tense, there used to be a movie theater here. Unfortunately, it closed down this past year. Fortunately, I was able to take my daughter to a movie there this past summer, but yeah, they did close down. We have yet to find out what's going to be going in here, but yeah, it's an awesome outdoor mall here in Hawaii Kai. And thanks for tuning in here. And I'm kind of running out of hitting every sign and establishment here. I'm starting to get a little bit hungry. Take that back. I'll cover a little bit more. We've got Zippy's, which has been there forever, down the end. All these establishments here are going to have marina front views. We've got a number of other places along the way here, and we've got Asagio's and Coconuts. It's a kind of a famous shave ice place. And then we're going to round the corner here to Teddy's Bigger Burgers, and then the Greek Marina and Condo Brew. We have Teddy's Bigger Burgers, and then we've got Jamba Juice, some outdoor seating here. And we've got Greek Marina, which is an awesome restaurant. And check out these views out the back. And then you've got Kona Brewery here. And last but not least, at Koko Marina, you have 24-hour fitness, the First Hawaiian Bank, the Texaco station here to fill up your cars and boats, and then one of East Honolulu's, I think, only remaining drive-through car washes. They're kind of a dying breed, and it's awesome that you still have one here in Hawaii Kai at Koko Marina. Another cool thing about Koko Marina Shopping Center is you've got this water sports set up here where they take people out for paragliding, jet skiing. It's pretty cool. They take you out front here in Moanalua Bay, and you can see some jet skiers out there on the horizon and a few people launching their one-man canoes here. Fishing, etc. And here's another perspective of Kona Brewery. And also Hawaii Kai in the back here. We've got Hawaii Kai Town Center, Hawaii Kai Shopping Center. That valley in the back is Haheoni Valley. And then up to the right there is Mariners Ridge. Just to make sure we do Koko Marina justice, I'm now on the back side of Koko Marina. That's the old movie theater sign there. Here, and then a couple vendors we forgot to mention are Taco Bell, which is right here. They have a drive-through, and then there's actually a straw clinic over here behind me. So this is the rooftop deck on the back side of Koko Marina here in Hawaii Kai, and you've got that nice, beautiful hike up to Koko Crater behind me here as well. Well, I hope you enjoyed my tour of Portlock, Triangle, and Koko Kai, and my hunger's finally caught up to me, and I'm glad you got to see a little bit of what Koko Marina Shopping Center is all about. And my decision today was to get a yummy Korean barbecue here, bibimbap. For those of you that aren't familiar with that, it comes with an egg, beef, kimchi, vegetables, and rice. So I'm gonna dive into this here, but if you need help with real estate here in Hawaii Kai, whether it be Koko Kai, Portlock, Triangle, or any of Hawaii Kai's over a dozen neighborhoods, feel free to reach out and give us a shout. Mahalo.